Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Jasmine Jack with Midday News. Normal traffic along the Hiritano Highway has been restored after swift response from the Department of Works and National Highways to fix damaged section of the highway in Barena, Central Province. On Wednesday morning, a culvert located a few hundred meters from Barena Junction in Central Province was completely washed away by flash floods, blocking off access to travelers from Central and Gulf provinces. With urgent appeal from Gulf leaders, Deccanite Construction was quickly engaged to maintain the affected areas, carrying out work immediately on Wednesday afternoon. With the Barena section of the highway fixed, workmen will now move to the problem area near Lakekamu Bridge in the Gulf province. The traveling public as of yesterday afternoon were back using the highway. Meantime, commuters and drivers have been urged to take extra care while traveling in this rainy weather. The disaster team in Madang completed their assessment on Karka Island after the earthquake hit Madang province last weekend. Madang province was shaken by a 6.8 magnitude earthquake on Saturday last week, with aftershocks felt till Sunday.
Upon arriving on Karkar Highland, the disaster assessment team met with the Sumkar District Administration, who spearheaded the visit. The team, comprising representatives from the Madang Governor's Office, Red Cross, the Provincial Health Authority, and PNG Defence Force, toured the island and the ring road, approaching each ward for data collection regarding damages, security, and assistance required. It was found that minor damages were caused, with water walls affected due to landslides. Infrastructural damages to buildings were evident, especially in schools and residential houses. Parts of the road had cracks as a result of earth trauma. The disaster team is back in Madang town to report on the data collected to the disaster coordinating team for further deliberation and action. Tracy Pa, TVWAN News.
A memorandum of understanding was signed recently between the Department of Justice and Attorney General, the Magisterial Services of PNG, Department of Personnel Management, and the Department of Justice and Legal Services of the Autonomous Bougainville Government. The purpose of the MOU is to mitigate the first 655 personnels and its component budget for personnel emoluments and goods and services to the Bougainville Public Service. Chairman of the National Coordinating Mechanism and Justice Secretary, Dr. Eric Kwa, said the MOU is a success for the law and justice sector as they have worked hard to achieve it since 2021. The National Court on Thursday dismissed the substantive notice of motion by the Tuguba landowners of the PNG LNG project in Hela Province. They were challenging the decision of the former Minister for Petroleum and Energy, Dr. Fabian Pock, made on the landowner beneficiary identification and distribution listings on March the 9th.
The case was brought to court by the Warapia clan and Honaga clan as first and second plaintiffs against the former Petroleum and Energy Minister Dr. Fabian Pock as first defendant. Hoihal Nahua, Director of Oil and Gas, as second defendant, former Treasurer Secretary Dari Vele as third defendant, and State named as the fourth defendant. The court found that former Minister Pock, first defendant, had invited all landowners, both directly and indirectly, to attend the Lobib exercise, which was formerly known as clan vetting, where both deponents attended the Lobib held at the Heights 4 ExxonMobil camp on 24th January 2009. Lobib is an important prerequisite for a ministerial determination under Section 169A of the Oil and Gas Act, and that the primary reason for the Lobib was for the plaintiffs to attend in person and confirm that they are beneficiary clans for the Toguba region and identification of the project area landowners and their measures of occupation. The court found that the Department of Petroleum conducted the LOBIB exercise in both Phase 1 and Phase 2 for the entire PNG LLG project. For the entire PNG LLG project footprint, and the finalized list was gazetted. The department then went through to ensure that Section 169 was fully satisfied before the minister signs the instrument of ministerial determination, which is the final outcome of the identification process referred to as LOBIB. This includes a review of all available data, including the landowners, to verify and agree on the final list of beneficiaries and the sharing of benefits, on which the landowners sign off constant forms as evidence of their agreement. However, the court found that the notice of motion filed on August 19, 2019 by the plaintiffs follows a declaration that the plaintiffs have denied their rights to be heard, contrary to Section 57 of the Constitution, when the minister made the said determination of the LOBIB. Justice Nicholas Miviri ruled that there was an open and transparent process undertaken through the LOBIB exercise. He said all plaintiffs were identified as being affected and what portion and percentage were accorded and published through the Gazettel. Miviri made formal court orders stating that the notice for the judiciary review is without merit and dismissed the case. Tracy Part, TVWAN News.
In a celebratory event, Prime Minister James Marape praised Paradise Foods Limited as a prime example of business growth in Papua New Guinea, marking its 90 years of successful operations. Acknowledging the company's remarkable progress under Chairman Anthony Smare, Marape emphasized the importance of industrial expansion beyond traditional sectors. The government's focus on SME development aligns with PFL's recent 75.2 million kina investment in upgrading manufacturing infrastructure. Grateful for a 10 million kina grant from the European Union, Marape anticipates PFL's venture into made in PNG chocolate products for export, showcasing locally sourced cocoa beans. The Prime Minister concluded by commending PFL's boldness and promising special incentives for companies committed to PNG's long-term development. If the war escalates to the wider region, there are concerns oil prices will rise. Experts say Australians already squeezed by high fuel prices could experience more pain at the pump just before Christmas.
Vanessa Tang used to offer free delivery for her online homeware orders, but now she charges a fee.
It's extremely hard for us as a small business to basically absorb the cost now.
Across the country, petrol prices have averaged more than $2 a litre. Diesel prices are even higher at $2.23 a litre.
It's really killing prices at the moment.
Have to live very on budget, very on budget.
Analysts say prices could rise even further if the war in the Middle East escalates and Iran's oil exports fall.
We could comfortably see oil prices, particularly that Brent benchmark, actually potentially cross that $100 barrel mark.
Australians could be in for more pain at the pump just before Christmas.
That oil will go into a global refinery, it'll then be refined into petrol and diesel, and we probably won't see that product in the country until late December, early January.
Prompting calls for tax cuts on fuel.
If we're expecting petrol prices to increase due to the conflict in the Middle East, then this is the right time to really bring on the fuel excise tax cut for families.
Higher fuel costs will push up inflation, and Australians might expect to pay even higher prices as fuel is used in many parts of the economy. Some economists say that may worry the Reserve Bank, which could come under pressure to consider another interest rate hike.
I actually think it's more the inflationary impact that the RBA will be concerned about, and hence more likely that they will deliver a rate hike in November.
another blow to households already struggling with rising expenses.
NCD Dart enters its grand final on Saturday, with reigning champions K180 Falcons out to repeat its supremacy as they face grand final debutant Rabis Naduk. Starting late this season, the 180 Kina Falcons had to do it the tough way, making their way slowly through the season and, when the most mattered, breezed through the finals to secure the first grand final spot 2 weeks ago. Littered with the next generation of dart stars and elites, the team is captained by Samuel Edwards. The big dance gets away under with the Division 1 grand final starting on Saturday midday at between bitter rivals from Tubusera village going head-to-head in what will be an epic battle. NCDC2 has been the form team whole year, dropping only one game. Hosting the PNG Singles Women's Championship, Loa Joel, together with the NCDDA Elite Male Singles Male Champion Junior Masse in their ranks, NCDC2 heads into the decider as overwhelming favorites. However, weigh-in one, though a very young team, has in their midst the youngest PNG Male Singles Champion, Junior Noel, along with Rima Ari and Mavaru Biale out to stop the NCD juggernaut. Former New Zealand Rugby Sevens and Touch Rugby international Niall Williams will for the first time represent her Samoan heritage at the Pacific Championships, which kicks off this weekend at the Santos National Football Stadium, Port Moresby. Williams is honoured to captain the Samoa National Rugby League women's side on debut against Fiji this Sunday before the Kumul's Cook Islands match at 3 p.m. The 35-year-old represented New Zealand touch football in 2021 and in the 2016 Rio Olympics as a member of the New Zealand Sevens team. She also won gold in the 2018 Commonwealth Games and 2018 Rugby World Cup Sevens. Williams and the Samoan women's team arrived in Port Moresby yesterday and is excited to be in PNG. She's looking forward to the PNG experience, and now Papua New Guineans love their footy here. Niall is Sonny Bill Williams' sister.
So we watched the Prime Minister's a couple of weeks ago, and I saw the crowd, and it's crazy. So I've played in front of a lot of crowds before, but I think your one's going to top it. Yeah. To Fiji? Yeah. I know they'll come across, they'll be very strong. They got a couple NRLW players in their team too. So, but if we stick to our game plan and believe in ourselves, I know we can come away with the W. Yeah.
That's all for now. Join us at 6 this evening for the main news. Bye for now.